A very good evening to everybody. As promised every day, I'm here at 10 o'clock, and today we are going to do writing section. Last time, if you attended the session, it was on do you agree or disagree? And today the session is going to be based on advantages and disadvantages. So, there are multiple types of advantages and disadvantages. So we'll be covering just one aspect of them. Okay, because in due course of session, in due course of other lectures, I'm going to cover rest of them also. But today the class is going to be very interactive, so make it very sure that you should be ready to type in a lot. Okay, because I'm going to ask you a lot of points so that I can make my essay based on your points. Okay. So without wasting much of time, let us start immediately with our class. So we are going to handle writing tips on advantage, disadvantage essay. And we are going to cover it at 10 o'clock today. So we are going to cover this. All right. If you haven't followed us on social media, do follow us on Webberz Educomp Limited YouTube channel. I think you all have followed it, because if you haven't followed it, then obviously you won't be here. We have a blog, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and that's a WhatsApp number, which is very useful. We have a lot of offline campuses in majority of the cities in Punjab: Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Gurugram, Kapurthala, Tarantaran, Batala, Gurdaspur. If you want to take offline coaching, you're most welcome. For online coaching, this is the number that you can always try. This is the number, and they can give you very good help in online coaching. My classes are at 10 p.m. every day till I cover almost every aspect of IELTS. I'll be taking the classes, then I'll take a break. But we have a lot of way to go right now. Okay. So let us take some tips on writing. Okay. Very slowly and gradually we'll move. My first tip is, this is my first tip. You should spend time on planning the benefits and drawbacks of the statement. Okay. Take some time in planning. I will learn how to plan. Make sure you have the relevant supporting points. Many times we don't have the supporting points and we keep on writing unnecessary stuff. The examiner is highly irritated with that and he doesn't like it. Put your advantages in one body para and do the same with the disadvantages. Give your opinion only if asked. Nowadays, a lot of essays are coming. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Give your opinion. Do the advantages outnumber the disadvantages? Give your opinion. Give the advantages, give your, they keep on mixing up a lot of things with opinions. Now, if they ask you your opinion, only then give it. Otherwise, these 4 points should be kept in mind. Okay. So let's see the next one. Now, the body structure. The body structure is very similar to what I have taught, and to what extent do you agree or disagree? The first opening sentence will always be the paraphrase question. Now, many people told me today also, that day also, that, sir, we don't know how to write a hook line. I keep telling them hook line is optional. Keep in mind, it is optional. It is not the line. It is an optional line. So the essay is not based on this. Hook line is an optional line. Okay. Thesis statement is mandatory. Paraphrasing is mandatory. Now the paragraph 1 of advantage, disadvantage. Remember, they are always going to ask you advantages. So you write first advantage, second advantage, and the topic sentence will be talking about the merits are these. Then there's an example. The example can be a combination of both the advantages, or it can be one advantage or the second advantage. You can give an example either way. Now the wrap up. Wrap up, if required, wrap up is there. Now, this example can be given after second advantage. This example can also be given after first advantage. So that's okay. Depending how you are linking the example, if it's linked to the first advantage, give it under the first. If it's linked to the second advantage, give it under the second advantage. So that is how you work on the advantages. So let us see the next step. Body para 2. Now the body para 2, Similar way, absolutely similar way, we have disadvantages. The first disadvantage, the second disadvantage, an example. Again, the example, if it is linked to second disadvantage, put it here. If it is linked to the first disadvantage, put it here. Then the wrap-up line, if required. Now, the conclusion is going to be answer to the main question, summary of the main points, and opinion if asked. I am telling you again and again, opinion is only given if asked. Do not write your opinion unnecessarily. It is not a good idea. Okay, now the next thing. It is becoming increasingly popular to have a year off between finishing school and going to the university. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this? Now, this essay topic, I think you know about it. It was there last month. It was there last month. Now, you know what kind of essays are coming today? So let me just clear it out. What kind of essays are coming today? The first type of essay is to what extent do you agree or disagree? Second type of essay is discussion essays. And the third type of essay is advantage, disadvantage essay. Now, these are the three typical types of essays which are coming. Three typical types. Positive, negative is almost the same like advantage, disadvantage. But again, you should be knowing all these three essays by heart, which is very, very important, extremely important. So let us just work out on the first kind of an essay. That was to what extent do you agree or disagree? I have discussed that with you. In case you people haven't seen it, I would request you to see my previous video. It is in the playlist of IELTS. We have discussed that in half an hour. Okay, so just look into that video. Now, this is the second video of advantages and disadvantages. Now, see this kind of an essay. It is becoming increasingly popular to have a year off. This is called as a gap year. This is called as a gap year. Gap year. Now, if you have heard about anything, in India, the gap year is not accepted. You know, if you are looking for a job or if you're looking for further education, and you tell the people that I want a gap year, they'll say, are you crazy? In India, there is no gap year. But if you're planning to take admission abroad, your 1 year of gap is perfectly fine between 12th and graduation. They rather prefer it. If you've got a gap, great, wonderful, don't worry. We accept you, but more than 1 year, you have to justify what were you doing. Okay. So now what are the advantages? Now see the plural here. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this? Advantages and disadvantages of this, right? So we need to plan this out a lot. So let us plan it out. Gap year. So I am going to write down the advantages and disadvantages of gap year. So you people are going to help me out. I'll give you some time to think on it. Think on it. The advantages and disadvantages of a gap year, okay? And then we will work on it. Then we will work on it, right? Think on it and keep on writing it down in the chat box. Advantages and disadvantages, write in the chat box. Please write in the chat box. First, we'll talk about advantages, okay? What are the advantages of a gap year? So the benefits of a gap year. So let me see how many people are going to write. Relax their mind. Jasmeet says advantages are relax their mind. Very good, Jasmeet. Jasmeet, I'm going to write your name here. Jasmeet says relax mind. Very nice. Now, Varinder says we can get a clear understanding of our career growth. Very good, Varinder. Varinder says career growth plans. Clear. Very nice. So any other point? Jasmeet says another thing. Jasmeet, very nice. After spending timing, they can more concentrate on their subjects. Okay. So the concentration concentration becomes higher. Okay, all right. Great. Yeah, what else? Dilshad Malik says, Dilshad Malik has a very nice point. He says that career planning before get admission to any course. So he's talking about career planning. Becomes clear. Very good. Becomes clear. Next is Varinder Singh gives you sufficient time to pursue your ambition. So Varinder says gives you ample of time to pursue your choices, your career choice. All right. Next. Very good. We have a lot of points right now, and you were really, really brilliant. I love you for this. The way you have written it down, I'm very impressed. Okay, so now we'll stop it here and we will go to the next part that is called disadvantages. So I am going to clear this and write down some disadvantages. So now everybody is requested to write down something, because if you do not write it down, there is no point of a class. Now, discuss about disadvantages now. What is the disadvantages? Think of disadvantages. What can be the disadvantages of having a gap year before the study? Let's write it down. Disadvantages. Okay. Vinder Singh says opportunity to do community service. Yeah, Vinder, that is really good. I'm impressed. You are connecting yesterday's class also today. Extremely good. Very nice. Very good. Okay. But please write down the disadvantages now. Write down the disadvantages. Discuss the disadvantages. Leena Sharma, that's a good point. Opportunity for the real-time experience. Varinder Singh says falls behind other students. Very good, Varinder. So we have Varinder's point here. Varinder says falls behind other students. Good. Jasmeet says gap can distract student. Very nice. Jasmeet says gap can distract student. Right. And then we have Rohini Sharma. Rohini Sharma says get confused with many more options. Okay, Rohini. Chances to get confused with so many options. Then Dilshad says late career growth. Very good, Dilshad. That is typical Indian. We have thinking that way, that we are going to be late in our career. Very good point. Late in career. Okay, any other negative point comes to your mind? We just want to. Don't worry, we have ample. The more we discuss, the more points we'll get. And I'm teaching you how to discuss. That is the thing. Yeah, think about it. Think about it. Think about more points, more disadvantages. Okay, indulge in illegal activities. Amgred Singh says, very nice. Amgred Singh says, indulge in illegal activities. Good. Leena Sharma says, lose the capability of study. Very nice, Leena. That happens. That really happens. Leena Sharma says, lose. So, unable to reconcentrate. And we have another person, Jasmine. Jasmine Kaur has a good idea. She says that becomes habitual of leisure, like right, become lazy. And then we have Gilsab says distract from the studies. Very nice, Gilsab. Gilsab says distract from studies. Arey wow, we have so many points. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Can become money-minded. Yeah, I'm money-minded too. Money, my space is over, but your points are not over. I'm very impressed by you people. Very, very impressed. Really very good. Really very good. Okay, so Now, if you look at this, this is called brainstorming. So the way to brainstorm an essay is very, very simple. What do you do? So you divide your page. You know what we generally do in the paper? You've got a question paper. Below the question paper, there's ample of space. So we divide the space in two parts. On one side, we write advantages. On the other side, we write disadvantages. Okay. What happens in that? Advantages and disadvantages. We note down as many points as we want. Then we prioritize them. Prioritize in the sense, then we see which one is good and which one is bad. And we choose 2 points in good and 2 points in bad, in which we can write. And sometimes what happens, the points are repetitive in nature. Okay, take about 5 minutes to plan your essay. Remove the things which are repetitive. So let's see, what have I done? Okay, so here we are. Advantages, it provides them valuable work experience to the students in the field of interest. During this period, some people manage to do jobs and earn some extra money in order to support themselves during the academic year, understand the industry. They can even travel by increasing their experience and knowledge, have a broader viewpoint of the world. So I've got 4. I have to choose only 2. That's good enough. Then we write disadvantages. In disadvantages, maybe discipline, follow an academic timetable again. They may even decide to quit the studies when they're exposed to time out studies for extended period of time. Ideal mind is a, this is idle mind. My mistake. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. So idle mind is a devil's workshop. They may indulge in bad activities like drug abuse. Okay, so I have just written down only some of the points that I felt that you can talk about them, right? So my idea is to choose 2 out of them. So let us choose 2 out of them. So let us see the advantages, and I'm going to choose 2 out of them. So they will say it provides valuable work experience. So can money-minded. No, this becomes advantages. I don't want to write that. Let's do this only. During this period, register extra money in order to support academic years. That can also be there. Okay, understand industry. Okay, they can travel by increasing their think time to plan for the future. Everything looks very good, no, but I can't help it. Writing so many points will clutter the essay. So I'm simply cutting it down. Okay. So I'm just cutting it down. So understand industry. So I will put this here in the field of study interest and understand industry. They can travel. This is one very good point. Extra money they can earn, they can travel. So I don't think so. I'm going to write it. So I'm going to remove this from here. Okay. So I've got these 2 points. So we can always write and foremost, it provides extra valuable time for the industry. So we can write apart from this, during this period, some people manage to do their jobs. So there are umpteen merits of taking an year off. Okay, so first and foremost, so I'm building up a body para. Okay, so this is my main line, as I told you. So this is my supporting point 1 or advantage 1. This is advantage 2, and I'm going to write an example. I would like to cite an example. We put up an example here, and my para is complete. Now, if you want to write more and you feel the para is not 80 words, it should be 80 words, okay? So let me write it down. It should be 80 to 90 words. So if you feel 80 to 90 words are not there, so what do? So we write down a wrap-up line here. Wrap-up line would look like, so therefore, the merits are many and taking a gap year is a great idea. Okay, so we can write a wrap-up line here. Now, in case you feel it's still not making sense, the example can be a little longer. Example generally comes out to be 3 lines long. It is 1 or 2 sentences, is 3 lines long. So this is my advantages para. Let us go to disadvantages now. Now this is disadvantages para. So I am going to remove this point. So these are the 2 points that I have. So I'm not going to write it down. So I want you people to write down the disadvantage para and post it here in the chat box. Post it here in the chat box. So this is the same way I told you advantages. Now post it here in the chat box, right? So keep on writing it down on your own and post it. I'll read out all the paragraphs here and we'll see who makes a disadvantage para. So don't worry, write anything that you want. Write anything that you want, okay? So let me show the full screen. This is the advantages para. This is the disadvantages para. You have to complete this para and write in the chat box. Okay, Rohini is asking me, what kind of examples can we frame? All right, so in disadvantages, you can talk about bad activities like drug abuse, okay, or money laundering, or in the advantages side, you can talk about, talking of an industry experience, like a lot of your friends have gone or taken up industry experience for 1 year, and in abroad, it's very common to take it. So people become more focused with that after taking an industry experience. So you can give that kind of an example here. I've given you a disadvantage example also, an advantages example also. So write it down, okay? So write down the disadvantages para, and we can see the whole essay framed out in front of you only. In front of you. Write down the advantages para in the chat box. Don't worry, chat is never recorded, so whatever you write is fine. Whatever you write is fine. Write the disadvantages para. I'm going to frame out an introduction and conclusion later on. First, you are going to write down the disadvantages para. Okay, write about 80 words. Don't worry, you can easily type it out. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. Try writing it. Try writing it. Do it. I'll give you time to think about it. Do it. Complete the full para and write it down. Okay, till you do it, I will be doing the introduction and the conclusion. So let us go to our introduction part. Okay, so now it is a very, very simple trick of introduction. Simply paraphrase. In most countries around the globe, around the world, taking a gap year before starting higher education is on the increase. Although the reason for this are varied, the overall trend of this is ballooning at a rapid rate. This essay will analyze the benefits and limitations of this development. Okay, thesis statement is there, the paraphrasing is there. Both are clear, both simple, finished. I'm going to read out, just a second. I'm just going to read your work. You've written very good work. I'll see it. Let's see the conclusion. In conclusion, the drawbacks and benefits of these trends are numerous, giving valuable work experience and understanding the demands of the actual industry being on the positive side, while wastage of a year and indulging in vices can be detrimental. So, I have done very clear-cut thing. I have summarized both the things and written it here. Now, there was no opinion because the opinion was not asked. Let us see the opinion. Well, let's see the topic. The topic was, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this? There is no opinion. Your opinion is not asked. Okay? So there was no opinion. So let us go in this advantage. So do not write an example with I because there is no you in the essay topic. So you can say, it has been seen, a lot of surveys had been done, and it has been seen that the people who take a gap year do not concentrate very well, something like that. Keep on writing it up. Okay, so now the disadvantage para. And Jasmeet has written, how many words are required for the passage and what extent do you disagree? Jasmeet, please watch my video of agree and disagree. That is there. I've written down everything. This is advantages and disadvantages session. Okay. So please write down the disadvantages para, complete it, so then we can go ahead with this. Please complete this. To commence with, write Dilshad, okay. Write it down, write down the Dilshad, write it down. Write down as much as you can, that will be very good for you. Yeah. Dilshad Malik, I would suggest you please write down I request everybody to write down the disadvantages para, the disadvantages para. Okay. Amrit Singh, that's a good idea. Start with that. Nevertheless, you have to write it down and show it to me, because otherwise I would not know what have you written. I would not know what you've written. Write it down. Write down the disadvantage para. Very quickly, please write it down. We are left with very less time. 10:30 is the upper limit of our class, maximum till 10:35. Please write it down. Don't worry, write down even 2 lines is good enough. I can understand what kind of problems are you facing, so I can frame my next class as per that. So Rohini Sharma says, on the flip side, some of the disadvantages are the masses may get habitual sitting idle if they don't continue the studies. Very nice, Rohini. I love this. I love this. Absolutely great. Yeah, anybody else? Anybody else? Write it down. Write it down. If you don't make a mistake, you'll never learn. So write it down. If you make a mistake, I'll point it out. Please write it down. Anyone else? Write down the disadvantages para. Varinder Singh says, on the other hand, there are several disadvantages too. It may become difficult for pupils to get admission in good college. Okay. Secondly, they will lose their momentum of study and cause problem in their academic career. Moreover, there are chances of indulging in bad activities. Very good, Varinder. Varinder says, for instance, in a recent study, studied that students who left their schools after senior secondary are becoming addicted to drugs in Punjab. All right, Varinder. Now, Jaspinder and Dhava says, on the other hand, taking year off have also some drawbacks. People have become more habitual of leisure time. Besides, they do not reconcentrate on the studies. Very nice, Jaspinder. Very good. Very nice. I'm very impressed by the essay writing that you're doing. You are doing a great service to everybody by giving your ideas to people, and this is very good peer learning. That's great. Write down more. Write down more. Whatever you write, it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about the grammar. It's fine. I'll take out mistakes. Don't worry. Some more, some more. I want you to write more. We have time till 10:30, and after that, we'll do a small discussion. 1 minute more, as many as you write, it's good enough. 1 minute more. Okay. All right, we are done. We are done with the timing. So I got a lot of great input from you all. And I love the input, what you have done, which is very interactive. And I do understand that on YouTube, giving an interactive class is a very difficult thing because it's very difficult to write it down. Jasmeet says, on the paradoxical side, there are multifarious factors about the year off. Predominantly, they indulge in bad activities like individuals spend their time with their friends and started intake of drugs. Rohini says, moreover, they can indulge themselves in some of the bad activities such as getting addicted to drugs. Okay, very well done, Rohini. Varinder says, for example, last month Canadian Immigration Department rejected the visas of many Indian students on account of the profiles having gap year. Jaspinder and Dhava say, secondly, they indulge in immoral activities. Good, good, good. So now you know how to construct sentences in a very good manner. And whatever is in your mind, you are able to write it down and phrase it down, which is a very good thing, which is a very, very good thing. Okay. So now your full essay is ready. So I'll teach you how to find essays of advantage and disadvantage now. That is my discussion part. When you're sitting at home, you can always figure it out, advantage and disadvantages essay. Okay. So let us share my desktop. Here you are. So you simply go to Google and you write list of advantages and disadvantage essays IELTS. And you will see a huge number of websites showing this. A huge list is there. Huge list is there. So you can figure out the list. It's very, very good and very convenient for you to do it. So with this, we come to the session ending of our today. And tomorrow, we are going to do something on speaking again. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to take up a topic based on one kind of cue cards, because I know, multiple kinds of cue cards will confuse you. So doing one type of cue card will always be a good idea. Just take one type of cue card. So there are 4 types of cue cards called as person-based, objects-based, place-based, and event-based. I want you to tell me what kind of cue card you want tomorrow. So I'll just cover that point only. Just tell me what kind of cue card do you want tomorrow. Write in the chat box. Now that all of you know how to write in the chat box, so please write it down, as many things as you can, so I can just cover that in the next session. Because every day I'm doing listening, reading, writing, speaking. I'm following this schedule. Today we did writing, yesterday we did listening, day before yesterday we did reading, and tomorrow we're going to do speaking. So that is the format that we're following. So please write down what kind of cue card you want me to cover tomorrow. Please write it down so I can get a note in my mind. So I'll be covering that exercise tomorrow for you. Please write down what kind of cue cards do you want. Rohini Sharma, kindly cover all the cue cards one by one. All the cue cards. There are 4 types of cue card on the object. All right, object. Fine. Just me, I can cover object. I cannot cover all the cue cards. It's not possible. There are one type of cue card takes about 2 hours to cover. 2 hours to cover, which is very difficult. Place-based cue cards, the chart says. Okay. Latest topics which are expected in the exam, sir. See, we have all the expectations coming for all the kinds of cue cards. I'll be covering the latest cue cards only, but I want you to tell me the type, because I cannot cover every type of cue card. Every week, there are about 4 or 5 new cue cards which are added. I am covering these cue cards on Saturday also. Place-based cue cards. Okay. So majority of the people are saying place-based cue cards. Fine. So tomorrow will be place-based cue cards. All right. Thank you so much. Good night. Have a great day. Bye-bye.